Have you ever felt a sense of unease after indulging in your favorite meal? What if I told you that the foods you eat could be silently sabotaging your spiritual journey? Welcome to the essential world of spiritual nutrition, where what you consume intertwines with your soul's potential. Spiritual nutrition is not just a trendy term. It's about recognizing how our food choices can elevate or diminish our divine connection. Certain foods are dense, heavy, and low in vibration. They can cloud your mind, dull your intuition, and distort your ability to connect with your higher self. Imagine sitting down to meditate, only to feel lethargic and distant because of a meal filled with processed ingredients. It's a wake-up call for all of us. Choosing what we eat becomes a sacred act of self-care. Instead of ignoring that uneasy feeling in your stomach or the fog in your mind, listen to these whispers from your body. They are your spiritual signals. As you nourish your body with awareness and intention, you begin to cultivate a deeper, more authentic connection with your spiritual essence. Consider this a gentle nudge toward a diet that honors your vibrations and empowers your spiritual evolution. Our bodies are remarkable communicators, sending signals that reflect our spiritual and emotional states. Every discomfort, ache, or heaviness felt after eating is not merely a physical response. It's an invitation to explore the deeper implications behind our food choices. When you experience bloating or fatigue after a meal, it often signifies that what you consume affects more than just your body. It impacts your spirit too. These signals are a way for the body to express discontent with certain foods that clash with our spiritual energy. For instance, consuming heavy processed foods can lead to feelings of sluggishness, as if a veil has been pulled over your senses. This sluggishness can be a direct response to the vibrations of the foods you choose. By ignoring these signs, we risk disconnecting from our higher selves and shutting down our intuitive abilities that guide us toward fulfillment and joy. Learning to respond to these signals fosters a partnership between mind, body, and spirit. It's not just about what you eat, it's about how you feel after eating. Pay attention to these indicators that emerge after meals and use them as feedback. As you begin to honor your body's wisdom, you will cultivate a more profound understanding of your own needs, leading you toward foods that not only sustain you physically but also spiritually uplift you. Contaminated foods are not just an issue of health, they are a profound barrier to spiritual awakening. Many commonly consumed items have been altered, genetically modified, filled with preservatives, or laden with chemicals, preventing us from accessing our innate spiritual potential. These foods can distort our energy fields, hindering our ability to vibrate at higher frequencies necessary for growth and expansion. As we consume these contaminated foods, we unknowingly block our energy channels, which are vital for spiritual progress. The effects manifest as mental fog, emotional imbalance, and a general feeling of disconnect from our true selves. This suppression is intentional in its design. It keeps us from realizing our potential, shackled by the weight of unhealthy choices that disrupt our connection to divine energy. Recognizing the impact of these foods compels us to make conscious choices. By eliminating or minimizing these spiritual roadblocks, we empower ourselves to awaken fully. The journey towards spiritual liberation begins with understanding what we feed our bodies. As we opt for nourishing, whole, and unaltered foods, we not only uplift our physical health, but also clear the pathway for a soul-aligned existence. True spiritual awakening is possible only when we reclaim our power over our dietary decisions. The hidden truth behind our food choices profoundly affects our spiritual abilities, regardless of how consistently we engage in practices like meditation and prayer. It is a misconception that spiritual habits alone can shield us from the consequences of a poor diet. In fact, what we consume daily plays a critical role in determining how open and receptive we are to spiritual insights and guidance. When we regularly fill our plates with processed foods, sugars, and artificial ingredients, we unknowingly create energetic blockages that dull our senses. Meditation may become less effective, and prayer might feel like a mere ritual rather than a profound connection. The vibrational quality of the foods we eat can significantly dim our intuitive spark, inhibiting the spiritual awakening we desire. This disconnect can lead to frustration and confusion, leaving us questioning why our efforts in spiritual practices yield limited results. Understanding this hidden truth empowers us to take charge of our spiritual journeys. By choosing nourishing, high-vibration foods, we enhance our capacity to receive divine messages and deepen our meditative experiences. it becomes clear that cultivating a spiritually enriching diet is just as important as engaging in spiritual practices. Prioritizing our food choices lays a solid foundation for heightened awareness, clarity, and the spiritual enlightenment we seek. The battle for spiritual ascendance is often fought on the front lines of our diets. Physical discomfort and energy drains can manifest as signs of spiritual warfare, intricately tied to the foods we consume. Each meal presents an opportunity to uplift or undermine our spiritual journey, reflecting how certain foods can contribute to inner conflicts and blockages. When we eat poorly, not only do we face physical symptoms like fatigue and bloating, but we also experience emotional turbulence and spiritual regression. The body reacts to low-vibration foods by pulling us deeper into lethargy and confusion, keeping us locked in a cycle that distracts us from our true purpose. This struggle is a subtle yet powerful reminder that our dietary choices have far-reaching implications for our energetic state and spiritual clarity. Recognizing this battle equips us with the knowledge to break free from cycles that hinder spiritual growth. We can consciously choose foods that elevate our energy, empower our spirits, and clear the fog that encumbers our minds. As we claim our power over these choices, we engage in a transformative process, turning meals into sacred rituals that support our path to ascendance and enlightenment. Ancestral wisdom regarding food holds profound insights that can empower our spiritual journeys. Ancient cultures understood the symbiotic relationship between diet and spirituality, establishing dietary protocols that honored both body and soul. These practices, rooted in respect for natural foods and sustainable sourcing, were designed to elevate spiritual awareness and enhance the connection to divine energies. By prioritizing fresh, whole foods and seasonal harvesting, our ancestors cultivated not only physical health, but also spiritual vitality. They believed that the energy imbued in food, whether from fruits, vegetables, or grains, could enhance mental clarity and elevate vibrational frequencies. These dietary choices acted as gateways to higher states of consciousness, fostering a deep connection with the earth and the spiritual realm. Embracing this ancestral wisdom calls us to reflect on our own eating habits today. By incorporating historical dietary practices such as mindful consumption and seasonal eating, we can reclaim this knowledge and align ourselves with the rhythms of nature. As we nourish our bodies with intention, we empower our spiritual paths, ultimately leading us toward greater awareness and enlightenment. Ultra-processed foods serve as a significant barrier to our spiritual energy and connection to divine wisdom. These foods, laden with artificial ingredients, preservatives, and excessive sugars, not only compromise physical health but also dull our spiritual senses. Their low vibrational quality drains our energy, creating a disconnect that hinders our innate ability to tap into higher consciousness and spiritual guidance. When we indulge in highly processed products, we often experience an array of negative effects, including lethargy, confusion, and emotional volatility. This disconnect from our spiritual essence can leave us feeling isolated and disoriented, as if the divine wisdom we seek is just out of reach. The vibrational density of processed foods weighs heavily on our energy fields, making it difficult to maintain clarity in our thoughts and intentions. Recognizing the impact of these foods is crucial for reclaiming our spiritual vitality. By minimizing or eliminating ultra-processed items from our diets, we open ourselves to higher frequencies and deeper connections with our true selves. Choosing whole, unprocessed foods allows us to harmonize our body's energy with our spiritual aspirations, paving the way for a more profound and fulfilling connection to divine wisdom. Consuming meat from animals that have experienced distress can have a profound impact on our spiritual energy. When animals are subjected to fear, pain, or suffering prior to their slaughter, their bodies release stress hormones that can infiltrate the meat we eat. This transfer of negative energy can weigh heavily on our own energetic fields, creating blockages that hinder our spiritual connection and awareness. The energetic quality of the food we consume significantly affects our vibrational state. When we ingest meat filled with the energy of distress, we may begin to experience feelings of unease, anxiety, or even emotional instability. This heavy energy can cloud our thoughts and intuition, making it more challenging to access spiritual insights and divine wisdom. The consequences of such choices can resonate deeply, altering our inner balance and spiritual clarity. Being mindful of the sources of our meat is essential for anyone on a path of spiritual growth. Opting for ethically raised, humanely treated animals not only promotes their well-being, but also positively influences our own spiritual health. As we choose to consume meat that reflects compassion and respect, we align ourselves with higher energies, fostering a clearer pathway to spiritual awakening and deeper connections to our inner wisdom. Modified grains, particularly modern wheat, pose significant dangers to our spiritual clarity and intuitive abilities. These grains have been altered through extensive breeding techniques to enhance yield and shelf life, but they often come at the cost of their natural nutrient profile and energetic properties. As a result, consuming these refined grains can create a heavy, foggy sensation that clouds our mental and spiritual faculties. The consumption of modified grains may lead to physical reactions such as bloating, fatigue, and discomfort, which further entrench us in a cycle of spiritual disconnection. This fog inhibits our ability to connect with our intuition and discern subtle energies around us. When our digestive systems struggle with these modified foods, our overall vibration diminishes, reducing our capacity for spiritual growth and insight. By choosing whole, unmodified grains that are closer to their natural state, we can clear this spiritual fog and uplift our energy. Whole grains provide the nourishment our bodies and spirits crave, allowing for better digestion and a clearer mind. As we prioritize foods that align with our highest good, we unlock our intuitive capacities and create a fertile ground for spiritual enlightenment and self-discovery. Dairy products can create significant energetic blockages that impede our spiritual clarity and perception. The consumption of milk, cheese, and other dairy items often introduces heavy, dense energies into our systems, which can cloud our thoughts and dull our spiritual senses. This blockage not only affects our physical health, but also hinders our emotional and spiritual well-being, making it difficult to connect with higher realms of consciousness. Many individuals report experiencing a sense of lethargy, emotional instability, or even a feeling of disconnect after consuming dairy. These sensations stem from the way dairy interacts with our energy fields. The dense nature of dairy can weigh us down, causing us to feel sluggish and disconnected from our intuitive insights, making meditation and spiritual practices feel less impactful and engaging. Choosing to minimize or eliminate dairy from our diets can pave the way for greater spiritual clarity and enhanced connectivity. As we embrace lighter plant-based alternatives, we create space within our energetic bodies for higher vibrations to flow freely. This shift fosters a clearer mind and a more profound connection to our spiritual selves, empowering us to embrace our intuitive gifts and navigate our spiritual journeys with greater ease and understanding. Artificially altered foods disrupt our spiritual vibrations, serving as significant impediments to spiritual progress. These foods, often engineered to enhance taste, shelf life, or appearance, come with compromised vibrational frequencies that can hinder our connection to higher realms. Consuming such foods can create a dissonance within our energy fields, leading to confusion and a lack of clarity on our spiritual paths. The alterations made to these foods can result in a loss of their natural energetic properties, which are essential for nurturing both the body and spirit. When we eat foods that have been stripped of their original frequencies, we miss out on the inherent life force that promotes physical vitality and spiritual awareness. This disconnect can manifest as emotional turbulence, lack of motivation, or a feeling of being spiritually adrift. To counteract these effects, prioritizing whole, unprocessed foods that retain their natural frequencies is essential. By choosing foods that resonate with our true essence, we can realign our vibrational state and enhance our spiritual journeys. Embracing a diet rich in natural, holistic foods fosters a clearer mind and deeper intuition, allowing us to progress on our spiritual path with renewed energy and purpose. Transformative diet changes can profoundly enhance our spiritual communication and abilities. By consciously eliminating specific food groups that hinder our energetic flow, we create a fertile environment for spiritual growth and clarity. As we make these changes, our bodies begin to respond positively, paving the way for a richer connection with our intuitive selves and the divine. When we remove dense and heavily processed foods from our diets, we clear away the fog that often clouds our perceptions. This detoxification allows the vibrational frequencies to rise, enabling us to access deeper levels of consciousness and spiritual insight. Many individuals find that with the elimination of certain food groups, meditation becomes more profound, and intuitive messages become clearer and more accessible. Embracing these transformative changes calls us to be deliberate and mindful in our food choices. As we nourish our bodies with high-vibration, wholesome foods, we empower our spiritual journey. The steps we take today in our diets can lead to significant shifts in how we communicate with the universe, ultimately unlocking our potential and guiding us toward a more enlightened existence. Empowerment through nutrition is a vital decision that directly influences our spiritual power and life journey. The foods we choose to consume play a crucial role in shaping our energy levels, mental clarity, and overall well-being. When we select nourishing, high-vibration foods, we actively cultivate a state of being that aligns with our higher selves, enhancing our ability to connect with divine energies. Each meal becomes an opportunity to either elevate or diminish our spiritual potential. Consuming whole, organic, and minimally processed foods invigorates our energy fields, fostering a sense of clarity and purpose. In contrast, unhealthy food choices can lead to stagnation and disconnection from our spiritual path. The right nutrition empowers us, allowing our intuitive abilities to flourish and our authentic selves to emerge. As we embrace the power of conscious eating, we are called to take ownership of our health and spirituality. The choices we make in the kitchen resonate far beyond our physical health. They shape our spiritual experiences and capacities. By committing to a nourishing diet, we invite abundance and empowerment into our lives, ultimately transforming our spiritual journeys for the better. Community and shared insights play a crucial role in understanding the impact of food on our spirituality. By coming together to discuss our personal experiences, we create a powerful collective consciousness that strengthens our individual journeys. Sharing stories about how certain foods have influenced our spiritual clarity and growth fosters a sense of belonging and support, enhancing our overall well-being. In these shared spaces, we learn from one another's journeys, gaining valuable perspectives that can illuminate our own paths. Listening to others reveal how specific dietary changes have shifted their spiritual experiences can inspire us to make mindful choices in our own lives. This exchange of insights allows us to recognize that we are not alone in our struggles and triumphs, deepening our connections to one another and to ourselves. As we engage in these conversations, we cultivate a community grounded in empowerment and transformation. We can support each other in making conscious dietary decisions that enhance our spiritual practices. Embracing the wisdom of collective experiences strengthens our individual and communal journeys, reminding us that together we can transcend the limitations imposed by our food choices and elevate our spiritual awareness. Embracing your divine path begins with making conscious actions in your nutrition. The choices we make about what we consume have profound implications for our spiritual growth and overall well-being. By selecting high-vibration, nourishing foods, we create an environment within our bodies that aligns with our spiritual aspirations, unlocking our potential to connect with divine energies and insights. As we commit to this journey of mindful eating, we activate the dormant energies within us, paving the way for greater clarity, peace, and intuition. The transformation that arises from embracing a wholesome diet can lead to profound shifts not only in our spiritual practice, but also in how we navigate life's challenges. This path towards divine alignment empowers us to become the architects of our spiritual journeys, facilitating a deeper understanding of our true selves. Ultimately, the journey is about more than just what we eat. It's about nurturing a lifestyle that honors our spiritual essence. By taking these conscious steps in nutrition, we awaken our innate spiritual potential, ensuring that we live in harmony with our highest selves. Let this be a reminder that every meal can be a sacred act, a stepping stone toward the divine path we are meant to walk.